You gave testimony that the brave ATF agents are the ones showing up at 2 in the morning after a burglary.
Weim says the Missouri law exposes people to greater harm by interfering with the federal government's ability to enforce firearms regulations.
Atlanta, Buffalo, Uvalde. And for the shootings that happen every day in the street that are mass shootings we don't even hear about.
Giving domestic violence abusers a license to kill and essentially preventing the government from doing anything at all about it.
We can expect in the future that more people will be carrying handguns on the streets in places like Los Angeles, Boston, and New York City.
Supreme Court 6-3 ruling demands elimination of carry laws and rifle bans. States resist, sparking a heated battle for gun rights and constitutional interpretation. Massachusetts' controversial gun control. In a startling and consequential move, the state of Massachusetts has introduced a comprehensive gun control bill, HD 4420, which has sent shockwaves throughout the nation. This far-reaching legislation aims to enact a ban on the purchase, possession, and sale of so-called attack-style firearms, positioning itself as a significant endeavor to modernize the state's firearms laws. At the core of the proposed bill lies the establishment of a broad definition for attack-style firearms, encompassing specific makes, models, and characteristics. This definition targets not only well-known brands of semi-auto rifles, shotguns, and pistols, but also includes features such as folding or telescoping stocks, thumb holes, adaptability for reduced length or enhanced concealability, as well as various grips and barrel configurations. The implications of this legislation are profound and have ignited concerns among supporters of Second Amendment rights. Critics argue that such a ban encroaches upon individual freedoms and fails to acknowledge the legitimate uses and purposes of firearms, including self-defense, sport shooting, and lawful recreation. As this bill progresses through the legislative process, the entire nation is closely observing the unfolding battle over gun control. The outcome of this contentious debate will undoubtedly have an impact on the ongoing national dialogue surrounding firearms regulations, as well as the constitutional rights of American citizens. The introduction of this sweeping gun control bill in Massachusetts raises fundamental questions about the balance between public safety and individual liberties. Supporters and opponents will continue to engage in fervent discussions as they advocate for their respective positions. The fate of the bill remains uncertain, and its potential repercussions on the Second Amendment rights of Massachusetts residents and the broader implications for firearms legislation across the country remain to be seen. Massachusetts' controversial firearms expansion. In a surprising and controversial move, the state of Massachusetts is poised to enact an expansion of its existing ban on rifles, mags, and similar items, taking the enforcement a step further by applying it retroactively to any previously acquired firearms that fit the newly added definition. This development has sparked concerns and generated intense debates among gun rights advocates and proponents of stricter firearms regulations. One might wonder how the state plans to enforce such a comprehensive ban. The answer lies in the proposed expansion of the firearms registry process, which aims to cover all firearm sales. The bill mandates that all firearms and feeding devices possessed within the Commonwealth must be registered according to the newly established regulations. Additionally, any firearms and feeding devices purchased, manufactured, or assembled within Massachusetts must be registered at the time of acquisition, production, or assembly. If the bill's objective is to establish a far-reaching firearms and mag registry, it appears to be designed to do so in a streamlined manner. The legislation states that the Secretary of Public Safety and Security, with the advice of the Firearms Control Advisory Board, will compile and publish rosters of large-capacity firearms, large-capacity feeding devices, assault-style firearms, and approved firearms for sale and use in the Commonwealth. The current roster language will be expanded to include all firearms and mags that the state deems approved for sale. However, considering the extensive ban proposed by the bill, it is likely that the list of approved firearms will be significantly limited. This gun control bill does not stop at a ban on specific firearms. It includes several other provisions that further broaden its scope. One notable provision is found in the negligence section of the bill, which stipulates that any firearms sold within Massachusetts must include a safety device designed to prevent unauthorized use, approved by the colonel of the state police. These safety devices may include mechanical locks or other mechanisms that recognize and authorize the firearm's discharge solely by its owner or authorized user. Failure to comply with this requirement may constitute a breach of warranty, potentially exposing manufacturers and gun stores to liability claims. This provision shares some similarities with California's micro-stamping law, but opens the door for legal action against manufacturers and sellers if the specific type of technology required by the bill is not widely available or feasible for implementation on every firearm. It is essential to recognize that this gun control bill encompasses a broad range of measures beyond the proposed ban itself. Its provisions extend to registration requirements, approved lists, and safety device mandates, creating a comprehensive web of regulations that significantly impact firearm ownership and commerce within the state of Massachusetts. As this bill progresses, the outcome of this contentious debate will not only shape the future. Unraveling the intricacies. This comprehensive bill addresses a wide range of issues, including the recent trend of concealed carry restrictions that have emerged in states like New York, New Jersey, and California. One notable aspect of the bill is the provision that renders carrying a firearm on private property, even with a concealed carry permit, illegal unless explicitly permitted by the property owner or business proprietor. This approach, often referred to as the vampire rule, has been implemented in other states and has faced legal challenges. In recent cases, federal district courts struck down similar restrictions in New York and New Jersey. However, Massachusetts seemed determined to put this restriction to the test and potentially take it all the way to the Supreme Court. These are just a few of the broad strokes and intriguing highlights of this sweeping and contentious bill introduced in the state of Massachusetts. In fact, it is one of the most extensive and comprehensive gun control bills seen in recent times, as it touches on a multitude of facets related to firearms regulations. With a document spanning a whopping 141 pages, it is impossible to cover every provision and detail within this limited space. Critics argue that this bill encroaches on individual liberties and Second Amendment rights, while proponents believe it is a necessary step to ensure public safety. The debate surrounding this bill will undoubtedly intensify as it progresses through the legislative process, with implications that extend well beyond the borders of Massachusetts. This multifaceted legislation tackles a wide range of issues, encompassing not only concealed carry restrictions, but also provisions related to assault-style firearms, mag bans, firearms registration, and more. It represents an ambitious attempt to reshape the firearms landscape within the state, touching on nearly every aspect of gun control. As the bill garners attention and provokes passionate responses, its ultimate fate and impact on gun owners and constitutional rights remain uncertain. While we have provided a glimpse into the labyrinthine details of this significant legislation, it's crucial to recognize that this overview only scratches the surface. The devil, as they say, is in the details, and in this case, those details extend across 141 pages of legislative text. As this bill unfolds and undergoes further scrutiny, the nation watches with bated breath, waiting to see how this consequential battle between proponents and opponents of stricter gun control measures will unfold. Massachusetts' rights under fire. Massachusetts' alarming gun control bill is widely regarded as one of the most far-reaching and restrictive pieces of legislation in recent memory. It is worth noting that we have barely scratched the surface of its contents, with its pages packed with a multitude of provisions, including overlooked aspects like 3D printing restrictions. This comprehensive bill aims to establish Massachusetts as one of the most heavily regulated states, severely limiting the right to keep and bear arms. It encompasses a wide range of measures that collectively create a formidable arsenal of gun control policies. The implications are chilling, as it appears that the bill's drafters have spared no effort to curtail the fundamental rights of law-abiding citizens. To effectively counter this onslaught on gun rights, it is critical for concerned individuals residing in Massachusetts to take action. Contacting local representatives and expressing vehement opposition to this bill is essential. Additionally, supporting state organizations fighting against this legislation and its potential ramifications is highly recommended. Anticipate the filing of lawsuits by these organizations as soon as the bill is passed, as legal challenges will likely be a key strategy to protect constitutional rights. Unfortunately, the prospects of this bill passing, albeit potentially with amendments or modifications, seem daunting given the political landscape in Massachusetts. The state has displayed a propensity for stringent gun control measures in the past, making the passage of this legislation, at least in some form, a distinct possibility. The aftermath of such passage will likely be marked by legal battles waged by local and national organizations. These lawsuits will aim to challenge the constitutionality of the broad-reaching gun control provisions embedded within the bill. The outcome of these legal challenges will be pivotal in determining the fate of gun rights in Massachusetts. The current situation in Massachusetts is one of concern and urgency. The proposed gun control bill encompasses numerous provisions that, if enacted, will severely restrict the rights of gun owners. Vigilance, engagement, and support for organizations fighting against this bill are critical in preserving the cherished principles enshrined in the Second Amendment. As the debate intensifies and the bill's future hangs in the balance, citizens of Massachusetts must stand together, united in their opposition to this insidious attack on their rights. Defending Second Amendment. Massachusetts finds itself embroiled in a fierce struggle to safeguard Second Amendment rights as a sweeping gun control bill threatens to reshape the state's firearms landscape. This complex and far-reaching legislation demands a closer examination to understand its potential implications on the cherished right to bear arms. The proposed bill encompasses a multitude of provisions imposing bans on a wide array of firearms, including semi-auto rifles, shotguns, and pistols. Alongside these bans, the bill introduces heightened restrictions on concealed carry permits, further intensifying the debate surrounding individual self-defense rights. Delving into the comprehensive bill reveals a labyrinth of measures that extend well beyond the surface. It tackles not only assault weapon bans and mag restrictions, but also dives into the realms of registration requirements, serialization, and even 3D printing limitations. The bill's comprehensive approach raises concerns among supporters of the Second Amendment, who fear an erosion of their fundamental liberties. Amidst this struggle for Second Amendment rights, concerned individuals are called upon to take action. It is crucial to engage with local representatives, voicing opposition to the bill's restrictive provisions. Supporting state organizations dedicated to preserving gun rights and potentially pursuing legal avenues to challenge the bill's constitutionality are crucial components of this ongoing battle. As the state's residents and activists unite to protect their constitutional liberties, the path forward remains uncertain. However, their dedication and determination to uphold the principles enshrined in the Second Amendment illuminate the ongoing struggle for the right to bear arms in the face of comprehensive legislative changes. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.